Star Health Superstar. This was one of the most trending plans on the internet in 2025. But should you consider this plan in 2026 as well? Most health insurance plans limit how much they'll pay you, but this one promises unbelievable features like unlimited sum insured options, locks your premiums to your age. But the big question is, are these mere features in a PDF? What about claim performance? To know this exactly, in this video, we will not just review shiny product features that agents and call centers keep repeating, but go several layers deeper.
Mahavir Chopra, the founder and chief executive officer of Beshak.org.
India's only insurance platform that is 100% neutral, 100% not influenced by insurance companies. Using my 20 years of experience and Beshak's deep research, I will break down the fine print and the real world claim performance of this plan. So by the end, you won't just know what the policy offers, you'll know how it actually performs. And yes, something unique only with Beshak, we will also discuss how this plan rates on detailed research-backed metrics so that you can have one single metric to know how this plan fares against all other plans in the market. Here's what we will be covering in this video. A quick overview of Star Health as a company, unique features of Star Superstar, quick roll call of the core benefits of this plan, most importantly, claims experience and customer service experience of this plan. Then we will be discussing the pricing, and finally, how does Beshak rate this plan on product, customer service and claims. And yes, if at any point you feel confused, you might pick the wrong plan, you can now book a free call with industry experts with up to 20 years of experience. Mind you, these are not freshers sitting in a call center. These are real industry experts who will help you right from purchase to claims. Okay, so getting on with the USPs. So the first feature that we are going to talk about is obviously the unlimited sum insured feature. Now, this feature has become very relevant in today's time because of the double-digit inflation that we keep hearing about in healthcare. Now, whenever we are talking about sum insured, and I have a lot of conversations with people, we talk about whether 5 lakh is relevant, 10 lakh is relevant, 25 lakhs is relevant, 50 lakhs is relevant, or 1 crore is even relevant. Because, you know, if there is a critical illness or there is some large major disease that has happened, disease costs and the treatment costs can go to any level. And that's what I keep seeing on a day-to-day basis. And hence, genuinely, I feel unlimited sum insured is relevant. But there are some pitfalls that we need to understand before we move forward. The first one is that right now, a 10 lakh sum insured or a 20 lakh sum insured for a lot of people is becoming unaffordable. So when we talk about an unlimited sum insured, let's say 10 years from now, what will happen if that also becomes unaffordable? Now, always there has been a question about upgrades, right? That if I have a disease or I have an issue, will I be able to upgrade my health insurance? With an unlimited sum insured, what if there is an issue where an insurer blocks downgrades too? And what happens when a person wants to port into another policy and the other insurance company does not even have unlimited option? How will a customer be able to port an unlimited insurance policy to, let's say, a 1 crore policy is also not very, very clear. So these are the things that today are unanswered and we need to basically deliberate about before we move forward. So the second USP in this plan is basically called the freeze your age feature. Now, this is a inbuilt feature that is available if you enter the plan by age 50. Now, how this feature works is basically that whenever you enter the plan, your age basically gets locked into the plan. Let's say if you're till you don't make a claim or till you don't reach the age of 56, your premium will be linked to your age when you enter the plan. Till the insurance company is not changing the premium for that specific age, the premium will remain fixed. Now, only if the insurance company changes the premium for that specific age, let's say you enter the policy at the age of 35. Now, the premium for the age of group of 35 is, let's say, 30,000 rupees, and it remains 30,000 rupees till you enter, let's say, the age of 45. Then you will continue paying the same premium for this entire period of time. So that is basically this feature. It's a very interesting feature basically because a lot of people feel that मैंने claim नहीं किया है तो मेरा premium क्यों बढ़ रहा है? This basically is a solution to this problem. So it's a good feature to consider when you're looking for plans. Now the third USP is basically an add-on which is useful if you're not choosing unlimited sum insured. So basically this feature is called limitless care. By this add-on, basically what you can do is by paying an additional premium one claim in your lifetime, or let's say if it's a family floater, for all your family members, one claim you can make without a limit on the sum insured. Basically, how this will work is that, let's say you have taken this add-on, and through your lifetime, there was one claim that you feel has crossed the sum insured, and you feel that is the claim that you want to opt for using the unlimited sum insured feature that you've taken. You can use it once in your lifetime, and then that feature or the benefit completely exhausts. You cannot use it again in your lifetime. Now, the fourth USP is basically called the limitless loyalty bonus. It's a guaranteed bonus that you get year on year by paying an extra premium, and there is no cap to what your sum insured can grow into in the future. So let's say in usual terms, you would have a cap, right? So let's say if you've taken a plan which has a sum insured of, let's say, 1 crore, and there is a plan which gives you, let's say, 100% sum insured no claim bonus, it will probably go to 2 crores and then stop there. In this plan, there is no such cap. So if, let's say, you've taken a crore sum insured plan and you have a 100% no claim bonus because you've taken this specific add-on, it will become 2 crores next year, and it will continue growing by 1 crore every year for your lifetime. So again, this is basically a feature that will logically be available only if you're not choosing the unlimited sum insured option, because with unlimited sum insured, you have unlimited sum insured from day one, right? So if you're, let's say, choosing a sum insured which is less than unlimited, which is, let's say, 1 crore sum insured, then you can choose both these add-ons that I mentioned. One is the limitless loyalty bonus add-on, which basically allows you to grow your sum insured every year, even if you claim or you don't claim. And the second is limitless care, which allows you one claim in your lifetime where you will not have a cap on your sum insured. Okay, so moving on to the core benefits, let's do a quick roll call of all the core benefits of this plan. The first one obviously would be the inpatient care. In inpatient care, there is no room rent limit basically applied to any kind of rooms, whether you're choosing let's say a private room or a suite room. There is no limit, and this has been basically checked by our research team in depth, and we have found no hidden conditions. So in case of an ICU room or in case of a regular room, there is no limit in this policy. The second core feature is the pre and post hospitalization feature. In this plan, you basically get 90 days before admission and 180 days after discharge as your pre and post hospitalization coverage. It is basically there are no limits to this pre and post hospitalization cover. It is covered till sum insured. There is one hidden bonus benefit that has been mentioned here, that post hospitalization medical services such as a qualified nurse at your residence will also be covered if you opt for an add-on. Of course, that is subject to certain terms and conditions. The third one, which is super important in today's day and age, is basically daycare treatments. Now, this plan makes it very, very simple. All daycare treatments are covered up to the sum insured. So there is no list that you have to worry about, that whether a particular daycare treatment that you're going through is covered or not covered. Star keeps it very simple and says that all daycare treatments are covered and up to sum insured. Now, again, in this also, we have not found any hidden conditions. So there is nothing to worry about. It's a simple and straightforward benefit. The next one is domiciliary treatment. Now, in case of domiciliary treatment, there is one important thing to understand. Domiciliary treatment is covered in Star Superstar completely up to sum insured, but there are 15 illnesses for which you do not get domiciliary treatment coverage. The next one is modern treatment. Now, modern treatments are basically those treatments that have recently basically got introduced in hospitals, like for example, robotic treatments or stem cell therapies. Now, this plan does not have any limits on modern treatment, which is great news. The next one is organ donor. Organ donor is basically a coverage where, let's say, if I'm going through, I need an organ transplant and I'm operated into the hospital, another person who is basically donating the organ for me will also be required to get hospitalized, right? That person's hospitalization is covered under organ donor. Now, this plan has basically organ donor covered up to sum insured. So again, it's a straightforward feature, no limits, no conditions. Now we move on to the good to have benefits. The first one is consumables. So consumables basically are those non-medical expenses like gloves and kits. And let's say, for example, during COVID, there were these PPE kits which basically hospitals used to charge you for, but insurance companies did not cover them. Now, with this consumables rider or add-on, you can pay a little more extra and get a cover for these consumables that a hospital would charge you for. Again, it is covered up to sum insured. There is one hidden condition that our team has mentioned here, which is important to understand, is that this add-on can be opted only within the first 3 years of the policy. So ऐसा नहीं है कि let's say in the 4th year, 5th year, you suddenly realize that, oh, I want the consumables cover, and you will be able to cover. You will be able to take it, opt for it only in the first 3 years. Okay, the second good to have benefit, very good to have for young couples, is the maternity and fertility cover. Now, this is a paid add-on, so of course you have to pay extra for this. The options that this plan offers, if you take this add-on, is the 50,000 option and the 1 lakh option. It also basically restricts it to around 4 deliveries, is what is mentioned here, including for twins, triplets, and quadruplets. Okay, for whoever this is relevant. There is, of course, a waiting period of 24 months. So it's not that you can buy this plan today and claim for maternity in the first year. You will have to basically wait for 2 years and then make a claim. There is one hidden condition mentioned here, is that pre and post hospitalization for this maternity and fertility cover is not available. Now, there is also a fertility cover that this plan will offer. Just quickly reading what has been mentioned here. Important condition under fertility cover. This cover is available only when both self and spouse are covered under the same policy. Assisted reproduction treatment excludes certain treatments. Any procedure listed as excluded will not be covered, of course. And only one ART cycle is covered in a policy year. This coverage is subject to sublimits depending on the sum insured that you choose. It will start from around 1 lakh to 2 lakh and also have a limit of 4 lakhs. Third good to have benefit is called the Future Shield. Again, this is applicable or relevant to young couples who want to buy this plan, or even actually young people who are planning to get married. Now, by this add-on, which you will obviously have to pay extra for, you can basically add your spouse in the policy with necessary docs within 120 days after getting married. The best part of this add-on is whatever waiting periods you have completed in this plan before you got married, and when you add your spouse, will also get transferred to your spouse. So let's say you have bought this plan 4 years ago, and now you get married and you had opted on for this specific add-on, and let's say you are a male member and your wife added on to this plan. She will not have any waiting periods, let's say, because I mentioned that 4 years have been completed in this plan. So it's an excellent feature because, you can do it's called Future Shield for a particular reason. You're basically doing future planning that, okay, I am entering this plan and investing in this plan for the first 3-4 years. And if I get married later, my wife or my husband, whoever basically is my spouse, won't need to have to serve these waiting periods. So it's a great feature for people who are planning to get married. So now moving to the important exclusions in this plan. It has some standard exclusions that all of us should be aware of. The first one is when you buy the plan, there will be an initial waiting period of 30 days for any sickness related claims. When you buy a plan, for the first 30 days, you can only get a cover for accidents. And after the first 30 days get over is when sickness related claims or disease related claims start getting covered in this plan. Of course, there are other conditions which I'm now going to talk about. Okay, so the second important waiting period that all of us should be aware of is called the specified disease or procedure waiting period, which typically is for 2 years. This basically is the listed ailments, not listed ailments. This is basically a list of ailments in your insurance policy, where an insurance company says that if you're entering this policy today, I will start covering you for these specific ailments after 2 years. So typically this includes things like slip disc. It may include things like cataract and let's say piles and a lot of other things like sinusitis. Obviously, this list can vary from insurance company to insurance company. I'm just sharing things that I can quickly remember from plans that I have studied. Okay, moving on to PED waiting periods, pre-existing disease waiting period. This is relevant for people who already have a disease and are planning to buy an insurance. So the standard waiting period in this plan is 36 months. This is standard basically that all insurance companies in India basically will cover you for any existing disease when you're buying a plan after 3 years, right? But this plan interestingly offers you 2 kinds of add-ons to modify this specific waiting period. So if I'm not happy with this waiting period, I don't want to wait for 3 years, then there are 2 kinds of add-ons that you can choose by which you can reduce it or modify it. The first one is basically where you pay additional premium and reduce your 3 years to 2 years or 1 year. So aap premium pay karo and you will reduce your waiting period. Now, the second option where you can modify your existing disease waiting period is basically where for a particular listed illnesses that the insurance company is offering this for, you can reduce your waiting period to 30 days. This is available only for people who enter the policy before they turn 65. And there's one more important condition to understand is that the insurance company wants you to commit that you will continue paying premiums for 5 years. So let's say in year 2, year 3, if you make a claim, then the insurance company will collect the remaining period of the premium for 5 years from the claim amount and deduct that claim from that premium amount that I just mentioned. So let's say you committed for 5 years, you paid premium for 2 years, you make a claim, then the insurance company will deduct 3 years premium, the remaining premium, the balance premium, and then pay your claim, right? This is very important to understand. Exactly like why I mentioned that these are nuances, these are some scenarios that are very difficult to explain on a video, and you would have so many scenarios in your mind right now that you would want to discuss. That is exactly why we say that you should find the right expert, meet them, discuss various scenarios that are there in your mind, and understand the nuances of such benefits, because definitely I myself find it complicated. I can just imagine for someone who's first time buying insurance, how complicated it could be. Okay, so now moving on to understanding the claims experience is very, very important. So be attentive, do not look here and there, and importantly, understand these things, because this actually will help you understand how good is the insurance company in settling claims in terms of smoothness, in terms of speed, in terms of fairness, right? The first parameter is called the speed of claim settlement. It is basically percentage of claims settled in the first 30 days. This is an important parameter because it tells you that how many claims did an insurance company get in a particular period of time, and how many claims did it settle in the first 30 days. The percentage that has been reported by Star Health is 97.69%. This is quite a good percentage if I would compare it with other insurance companies that I have reviewed in the past. The second is claim complaints. So how many complaints did an insurance company get against the claims that it basically got in a particular year? The ratio here is 0.52%. Now, when you compare this with other insurance companies that I have looked at, this is mildly higher. So it's important to understand this. The third ratio is basically the incurred claim ratio. This ratio basically tells you how much percentage of claims are paid from the premiums that an insurance company has collected. Now, typically, we typically benchmark this at 60 to 80%. If the ratio is between 60 to 80%, I would typically rate it well, because it basically means that the insurance company has settled good percentage of claims. At the same time, it's not above 80% because the insurance company also has to bear a lot of other expenses, commissions, which are typically in the range of around 15 to 20% minimum. So an insurance company should make profits, right? If it does not make profits, it will not be sustainable for a long run, and either it will increase premiums or it may go bust. So it's important that the ratio is between 60 to 80%. Now, Star is at a right classic position of 70%. It is neither 60, closer to 60, neither closer to 80. It's at 70.30%, which is a safe percentage in my point of view. The next one is an important one, and that's where there is a small red flag that I would like to raise. The claim rejection ratio, which includes rejections as well as repudiations, is 11.48%. Now, this is really, really high, meaning an insurance company is receiving, let's say, 100 claims, it is rejecting more than 10 claims. And when I compare this with other insurance companies that I have reviewed, this is quite high, and this is a red flag that this insurance company is rejecting much more number of claims than other insurance companies. Okay, the next and very importantly is the customer service performance. Now, when we started Beshak, we were not able to find any good metric for us to measure the company's performance on customer service. So what we did is basically we ourselves got onto action and created our own metrics by auditing insurance companies for their customer service. So we do this on two important things that we were able to extract data from. One is toll-free numbers. So we call toll-free numbers at different times during the day and during the week. Let's say on a Sunday afternoon, a Saturday morning, to understand if an insurance company is really good and quick at responding to toll-free numbers, and we can actually reach a human when we need him. So in specific cases here, in case of Star Health, for toll-free, the response time has been marked as average, basically, which means is that compared to other insurance companies, they are not bad, they are not good also. So this is one important metric to understand. On the same lines, we also measure insurance companies on their response time on Twitter, and this is done at a very, very comprehensive level. We try to understand how quick an insurer is to give human responses. We are not talking about the first bot response that comes in like micro milliseconds that you've tweeted and you've got a response. We're not talking about that. Actual responses, actual resolutions. Here, Star fares very well. It is marked as quick, which basically means that compared to other insurance companies, they are quite good on Twitter responses. Moving on, to the next metric is percentage of complaints received on after sales services. So basically, these are those complaints that an insurance company has received complaints for slow responses, mis-selling and all that. On that, basically, the ratio that Star Health has been reporting is 0.03%. This is quite okay. This is not a very big number. So nothing to basically worry about. Okay, moving on to premiums, right? Very, very important to understand because an insurance company can give a world of features, but if it is unaffordable, what is the whole point? The premium for a family of 2 adults and 1 child, typically we talk about Mr. Kumar living in Mumbai, and with a sum insured of 10 lakhs, premium, of course, exclusive of tax, there is no GST anymore, so it is exclusive of tax, exclusive of any add-ons or discounts, is 16,471 rupees. From what I understand is a reasonable premium. It's typically going to be in the range of premiums that you will see for most insurance companies, which does not look to me to be very unfairly priced. It looks to be attractively priced in my, at least how I look at it. Now moving on to the most important, the finale of this review, understanding how Beshak has reviewed this entire plan. Very important to understand that because Beshak does not take any kind of commissions, marketing money from any insurance companies, these ranks, that the ratings that we do are completely unbiased. Even if I or anybody here in this room wants to influence these ratings, we cannot, because there is no way we can be influenced because we don't have any kind of relationship with insurance companies in terms of marketing or any kind of distribution. Now, coming down to the ratings for these plans on product benefits, this plan, SARS Superstar, is rated at 4.54. How these ratings are done is that we stack all insurance company plans into kind of, let's say, imagine a spreadsheet, and then we put all these features into a spreadsheet and then relatively compare them with each other and then give a rating. So it gives you kind of a number to put into basically perspective for you to understand how it rates on a scale of 1 to 5 or 0 to 5, right? So 4.54 is a reasonable, in fact, not reasonable, a very good rating. It's almost 90% on the scale of 5. Second is basically ratings on customer service. Now, customer service, Star is not rated really well. I would basically say when I look at the ratings of 3.06, it typically is rated as average or below average. As a person or as a customer, I would like an insurance company to have great service, because when I'm buying a policy, it's just a PDF. I'm looking at response service from an insurance company, and it's not rated well on specifically customer service, which is a red flag that you need to understand. Last is, and very importantly, is claims experience rating. On claims experience rating, when we compare it to all other plans in the market that we've studied, it is rated at 3.24 out of 5. Again, not a good rating. It clearly shows that they are good at the product. They've got like 90% up on product when I put it on a scale of 0 to 5. But on experience and on claims experience, they are not rated that well. It's at 3.24, which is typically, in my view, very poor. So all in all, when we stack all these 3 things which are the most important for a customer, how good is the product, whether it will cover everything, whether it will pay for everything, how good is the service, and how good is the claims. When we put all this together and stack it together, the total rating that this policy, the overall rating that this policy or this product gets is 4.02, which basically says that on a stack of 0 to 5, it is rated at 4.02. It will typically come into above average because it has superlative features. But like I said, the benefits are great, but the service and the claims are not good. So typically, it's not something that is a great thing to talk about this plan. So that's it. Basically, we've now covered everything that we wanted to tell you about this plan. We've also told you about how we look at how this insurance company is faring on all the parameters that I would personally have looked, or we all together in Beshak would have looked at if we were basically buying this plan. Now it's on you to take a decision on this plan. Of course, this review is basically bound by a time limit. For you to actually make a decision, you need to have a conversation with a real expert, understand basically your needs, understand the products available in the market, match them, for which you need a good expert. Always, 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 the time that you spend to basically research for a product, finalize a product, talk to people about a product, spend equal time to find the right expert for you, because a product is not about the features, it is about the service that you get after you bought the plan. And that's where having the right support from a right expert makes a hell of a difference, right? So for example, there are always choices for you to buy directly from an insurance company through the call center or through any other distributor that is available in the market. But these people will sell you the plan and then give you a toll-free number, which will basically be the number where you have to call and talk to someone who's just looking at you as a ticket, and then basically deciding, based on how his day is going, whether to help you or not. Instead of that, look for an expert who would basically want to help you, and their identity is basically coming from giving service to you, and their entire business model is basically helping you with claims and hence getting more business from you in terms of you giving them word of mouth, talking to other people about them. Why I am spending so much time to tell you about this is because over the period of last 20 years, what I've realized is there is a very important need of buying insurance from someone who is accountable at the time of claims. It's very easy to find someone who sweet talks to you when buying the plan, tells you great things, but is not accountable at the time of claims. Always try to find someone like that. That's where we created this service, which is basically where we created a community of very, very high quality insurance experts. These are experts with minimum 5 years of experience and average around 9.2, 9.5 years of experience, who not only basically help you buy the right plan, handhold you through the entire purchase experience, which includes filling the proposal form right, but stay with you till there is a claim and even if there is a dispute with the insurance company. So in case you're looking at buying a health insurance, do try us out. We are completely free. We don't charge you any money, and we are also spam free. So you don't have to worry that हमारे पास आपका number आ गया, so we will keep calling you. That's it. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed watching this video and you actually got to learn about this plan well. And in case you have any questions, you can obviously put it in the comments and we'll try our best to answer each of them. And of course, if you like this video and you want to be updated about the recent products, you want to be updated about what's going on in the insurance market while you are basically researching which plan to buy, you can hit the subscribe button. And obviously, this will also be a vote for me whether I did well or not. Thank you so much.